Hey there. Have current recent events left you feeling emotionally overwhelmed, causing you to maybe turn to food and eating in order to be able to cope with all of the overwhelming thoughts and sensations and uncertainty that we're facing right now? Do you find that you're gaining weight and that your mind is constantly racing and you're not entirely sure what to do about it? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you why this is happening, and I'm going to give you tools that you can take away today on how to stop this in its tracks. Hi, I'm Krisha Young, and I am a transformational coach and human design guide, and I work with women in and around their 40s, helping them to feel sexier and more confident and more vibrant and more alive, and helping them to heal these emotional wounds that are causing some of these behaviors. Okay, so here's the thing. We are in a very uncertain time right now. And there's a lot being thrown at us from all angles, right? There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknown, a lot of things that are happening that we just didn't plan for. And what can happen is if you haven't had the tools on how to deal with your emotional health, which none of us have been given these tools, okay? If you haven't been given these proper tools and you don't have the right kind of support in your life to help you navigate all of this uncertainty, then it can get really, really overwhelming, and it can get very noisy in here. And the only way that we kind of know how to deal with any of this stuff is to either go and reach for the food so that we can numb out the sensation and the feeling in our body, numb out the noisiness in our heads, right? Or maybe we're reaching for wine a little too often. Maybe we're reaching for weed a little too often. And this is because we simply just haven't been given the tools, the toolbox on how to shift that behavior, but also deal with the actual overwhelming sense of uncertainty, or the emotions also of what we're experiencing globally around the world. Like, how do we handle this heaviness, this energy that we're feeling right now? So as much as we don't really want to admit it, we like to be people who are in control and have some sort of sense of knowing where we're going and what's happening when things do start to get out of control, when there does start to be that chaos around us. If we don't have that solid sense, then we can get spun out with what's going on. And the only thing that kind of starts to calm us down is by reaching for that food or reaching for that glass of wine and reaching for the pot. So we're not actually being taught how to effectively deal with this, and also what to do when it occurs. And so that's what I'm going to address with you here today. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is, if you are catching yourself in an emotional roller coaster, you're feeling that overwhelm, as soon as you have that awareness, I want you to like wake up to it. That's it. So just be like, oh, wow. And this could be right when you're reaching for it, or it could be at the very end of the tub of the ice cream. Either way, it doesn't matter. As soon as you become aware of the fact that that is the action that you're taking, the next thing I want you to do is to have some compassion for yourself, okay? Watch the voice in your head that is judging you and telling you that, oh, there you go again, you're just getting fatter, you're wrecking your plans, like maybe you've been trying to get healthy and here you are doing all this stuff, right? Like, that narrative is just hurting you more, right? And so you've got to be stronger than that narrative. So as soon as you notice it, then you need to have some compassion for yourself and just have a little conversation as if you're talking to maybe a child or a puppy or something like that. And I know it might seem a little silly, but really that's what works in these situations, is just, okay, wow, look at me. I'm feeling really overwhelmed. I'm feeling really uncertain. I don't know what to do about this situation. It feels really crazy and overwhelming. And so eating or the wine or whatever it is a sense of control for you. And that's why that feels so good, right? Because that out of control doesn't feel good. So as soon as you notice that, you have that dialogue. We're reaching for this because I don't know what to do about this thing. This thing is too big, it's scary, or it just feels really overwhelming, or there's just so much that needs to happen around it that I'm not even sure where to start, right? So numb it out, let's go reach for this thing over here. As soon as you notice that, have that compassion. Now, step 3 is the most difficult step of this, right? But it's the best one. But after you've noticed, and then after you've had that little conversation with you, now comes the harder part. This is where I want you to do something else instead. You need to interrupt the pattern. You need to create a new neural pathway in your brain so that you're now reaching for something else instead of the food or the wine or the wheat. This is where, as soon as you notice, you maybe turn on a meditation, you go for a walk, you call a friend, you get up and dance, maybe you go and have a bath. What you need to do is something other than the reaching of the food. And even if you have like a really bad night and you find yourself like just all up in there and you're watching yourself eat all the food or whatever it is, that's okay. I still want you to have compassion, and you still have every moment is a new moment to make a new decision. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you completely fall off and eat the entire tub of ice cream. Once you've noticed, then you can take a new set of actions, and those new actions can be healthy for you, right? The meditation, going for a walk, having a bath, calling a friend, dancing. And what those are going to do for you is help to calm down your nervous system, which is what is out of control for you and causing all of that overthinking and causing all of that anxiety. And then from that place, you'll start to feel calmer. And then you'll start to get some answers of, what can you do? You'll get clarity coming from within you about what it is that you can do. Last thing I want you to do is reach out to me for an awakening session. So my history includes relationship with food and with eating myself. I had gained 60 pounds, and that's what got me into the coaching industry in the first place. Was learning how to nourish my body, learning how to eat better, and learning, how to take care of myself in a different kind of way than I was doing before. And from that, I lost 60 pounds, and I've never gained any of it back. And also, I learned how to deal with my internal emotional world so that when all of this craziness is happening, I don't get spun out of control with it, right? And this is the value of having a coach, a certified coach, and a mentor in your life if you're ready for this. You just don't have the tools or the awareness of how to properly deal with the emotional issues. You just don't have the clarity. You need a perspective shift. You need somebody who's been there, who's qualified, and who knows how to be able to guide you to what your answers are and your truth is so that you can resolve these emotional issues, have the tools and the knowledge and the understanding of what works for you, so that you're not constantly spinning out of control and you're not constantly reaching for the food or the wine or the wheat or whatever it is. And you're creating a beautiful sense of calm in your chaos, because there's always going to be chaos, and eradicating and changing those patterns for good. That is what we will look at and explore on an awakening session together. These sessions are totally complimentary. The link to schedule that is below. And I would really encourage you to book in if this is an issue that you've been dealing with for a long time and just haven't been able to stop it. It's probably because you've been maybe focusing just on the food or just on the surface level. And in order for you to really break this pattern and really break through, you need to have somebody like myself, a transformational coach, come in and help you on the underlying belief systems and underlying patterns that are causing this behavior in the first place. Because we don't want to put a Band-Aid on this. We want to eradicate it so that when you do feel overwhelmed or when you do have that unknown and you are facing uncertainty in your life, because let's face it, this isn't going to be the last time we're going to have stuff happen, right? Then what will happen is you will have the tools, you'll have the strength, you'll have the inner self-control and the knowledge on how to navigate all of this uncertainty like a goddess, like a boss, and you'll feel amazing. and you'll be able to get back to a semblance of who you are really inside without all of this craziness around you. So I really encourage you to schedule in one of these calls, completely complimentary. The link is below, and remember those 4 steps that I shared with you. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.